CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to do a skull granny square. This was actually a request that I got on Facebook where a follower there was really wanting to know how to make one of these. She had looked it up and was having difficulty working with the videos that there were and not really finding any anyway. So I went on a little search and she was right, there aren't a lot. And so what I'm going to do in this video, I have some previous skull videos and different things that you can look at if you're into skulls, crochet skulls and stuff like that, Halloween. But I'm going to teach you how to do the skull and the granny square all in one video. I just wanted it to be convenient and easy. But I will leave my other skull patterns in the description box below. Okay, so let's get into the materials. So today we're going to be using a 4.25 millimeter hook. You will need a pair of scissors, and I've got my large craft scissors here, and you are going to need a darning needle, or you might call it a crochet needle, okay? So you're not going to need all of those. Now this is something that you don't have to have, but might be helpful. I'm going to be using stick pins, but you might also want to use, you could use pieces of yarn, or you could use stitch markers, okay? So you can use anything you want to use, but I'm going to be using these. And that's just to show you where to put these half double crochets for the granny square, okay? So, yeah, you don't have to have them, but I thought it did help. So it might help you as well. Now for these, I'm going to be making a pillow for my daughter. And so I'm using the black for mine. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to be using black because it's just hard to see for a video. So I will be using a pink color just so to pick up easy on camera. But of course it's worked the exact same way. Now for the actual skull itself, I am using a Lion brand cotton thread yarn, and I just think when you're working appliques like this, you do want a little bit more of a sturdier yarn, so I like to use cotton. But again, you can use any yarn that you wish. It's all up to you. Remember also, as I always say, if you go bigger in hook and bigger in yarn, you're going to have a bigger piece when it's done. If you go smaller with your hook and smaller with your yarn, etc., or you go smaller with your hook, use the same yarn, it's going to be smaller. So just keep all those things in mind. But for this is about, I want to say this granny square is about 5 inches by looks like about 5 by 7. Okay, so you know the sides are longer and the bottom is shorter, and that's because of the skull itself, the way the skull is. That's the way it had to be, because as you can see, the width here is shorter, and then it's longer, and then shorter down here. So that's the way that it had to be for the granny square. So it's not a perfect square. So before we get into the video, I would like to say, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell below so that you can get my notifications, and sharing helps so much. So thanks a bunch, guys. And also, I have a beginner video that I'll leave in the description box below, so that if you have any issues with any of the stitches that we're working with today, or you're new to crochet and you're struggling with holding your hook or your yarn, please check out that video. It's a brand new beginner crochet video so that you can learn all the stuff that we're doing. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. So we're going to take our yarn and we're going to work a slip knot. And then we're going to chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch into the first chain from the hook. So I'm just going to hold it just like this. And then I'm going to pull my working yarn through, just like that. And now you have a little loop. Then you're going to chain 14 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay? Then I'm going to go right back into the same place I just slip stitched into, and I'm going to do another slip stitch. That might have gotten bigger there where we did our last one, so just pull tight. All right. Now we're going to be working into this loop right here, okay? And while I'm working into this loop, I'm going to work over this scraggly piece, so there'll be less that I have to work in later, okay? Because you do cut off a couple times when you're making this applique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into this loop, working around this chain, and I'm going to put 19 single crochets. So I'm going to go right into here without chaining one or anything. I'm going to go right in, and I'm going to do 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to do 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And one thing I'm doing here is I'm turning this as I go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and you can move this over if you need to, just move your stitches over. 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay. Now we've worked around this enough so you can pull it just a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it off. So we don't have to worry about this piece anymore because we've worked over it. Then I'm going to go into the middle where I've been slip stitching previously, and I'm going to put another slip stitch right there. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to put 19 single crochets over here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, and then again we're going to work a slip stitch right into the middle. Okay, so find that middle there and put a slip stitch. Now if you can't find the slip stitch from previously, or you don't know where it is, don't worry, just work down there in the middle somewhere. It'll all work out okay. All right, so now this is what it looks like. We've kind of got a figure 8, or it looks kind of like a little mask. Okay, and this is exactly what we want. And now this is where it seems a little strange, but we're going to actually cut off. Okay, so leaving just a little bit, enough to work in. You want to cut off your work and just pull through. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to come up over at the top. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start our yarn in the 7th chain from the center. So holding my little mask here just like this, I'm going to count over to the 7th one. So counting this first one, make sure you get the first one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go into my 7th one, and I'm going to pull in my yarn. Okay, so what I like to do is pull in the yarn like this, and then right into the same space you're going to put a single crochet, just like that. And then you're going to do 6 more single crochets for a total of 7, because that one counted as 1. So we'll just say 1 for that one, and then the next one 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Don't forget this last one here. Then we're going to jump over to this side, and we're going to do 7 single crochets over here as well. Don't forget this first stitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. And now what you're going to do is you're going to turn your work. You're not going to chain, you're simply just going to turn this over. Okay, and in these first 2 stitches right here, we're going to work 2 together. So we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to go into this first stitch right where this is coming out of right here. We're going to go in, pull up our yarn. Don't go through anything. Go into the next one, pull up our yarn. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Go through all 3. Then you're going to single crochet 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That leaves 2 left, and you're going to do two single crochets together here as well. So go into your stitch, pull up your yarn, don't do anything. Go into your next stitch, pull up your yarn. You've got 3 loops on your hook, go through all 3, okay? Then you're going to turn your work again. And we're going to start with a decrease again. Go into this first stitch right here, pull up a loop, go into the second stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Go through all 3 loops. Then you're going to single crochet 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you have your last 2 stitches here, and again you're going to do 2 single crochets together. Pull up your loop, go into the next one, pull up a loop, and then go through all 3. Then you're going to turn your work again. You're going to do the same thing again. You're going to do 2 together in these first 2 stitches. Then you're going to single crochet 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in your last 2, you're going to do 2 together. Okay? Then you're going to turn your work again. You're going to do the same thing, 2 together into your first 2 here. And then you're going to single crochet 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in these last 2, you're going to do 2 together. Okay? And that's all you need to do for the top of your skull. And so now we're going to cut off again, leaving enough to work in, just like that. And now we're going to be working out here to the bottom, but I want you to flip your skull over, Flip this over like this. And now we're going to be working over here. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we're going to go right in here and we're going to bring in our yarn here. Just like that. And that same place that you brought in your yarn, you're going to do a single crochet. 1, and then you're going to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now as you can see, I had turned it over and now I'm holding it upright. So we did, counting the first one, 5 single crochets. So now you're going to chain 3, 2 and 3. You're going to skip these last 3 here, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to skip these 3 in the beginning over here, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go into the 4th stitch and you're going to put 1 single crochet. And just like the other side, you're going to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So technically, with that first single crochet, you have a count of 5, okay? So then you're going to turn your work, skipping this stitch, then you're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you skipped the first stitch and then you did 4 single crochets. Then we're going to work into this nose area. So in this chain 3 space, we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. And then on the other side, you're going to put 4 single crochets. So you're going to go right into this first stitch and put a single crochet. 1. And then in the next, 2, 3, and 4. And that leaves 1 on the end, and you're going to skip that as well. Then you're going to turn your work. And now we're going to do the 11 single crochets across, but you're going to actually be working into this first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. And now we're going to start working on the mouth. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to turn our work, okay? And we're not going to be working in this stitch or the next stitch. We're going to be going into this 3rd stitch, and you're going to be putting a double crochet. Just like that. Then you're going to chain 1. You're going to skip this next stitch, go into the next, and put a double crochet. Chain 1. Skip the next stitch, go into the next, and do a double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the next, and do a double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the last, and do a double crochet. Now we're going to do another round that's basically just the same. So you're going to chain 4, 2, 3, and 4, turn your work. You're going to put a double crochet on the top of the previous double crochet, because that chain 4 counted as your double crochet chain 1. So now we're going to chain 1 again, and you're going to double crochet again on top of the previous double crochet. Chain 1, do that again. Chain 1, do another double crochet. Chain 1, and on the top of this chain of 3, you're going to put a double crochet. Just like that. Okay, so now we are technically done with our skull. You could leave this just like this if you like the way that it looks, because you got some chin indentations and it may look a little bit more scully like to you. But for this one, I went around with a single crochet. I don't think it affected it too much, so I'm going to do that. Also, I think it just helps when you're making the granny square to do this, okay? You get a little bit of a bigger skull as well, but it's totally up to you. It'll still work out the same if you do it either way, okay? So I'm gonna show you how I went around and did a row of single crochet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna cut off at all. And as I'm going around, I'm gonna try to work in all the ends that I possibly can as well, so I don't have too much to work in. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right into this chain space right here, and I'm going to put one single crochet, I'm going to chain two, and then I'm going to put another single crochet. So that makes a little corner there at the end. Now the one thing I want you to remember is you need to do the same thing on this other side that you do on this side, and consequently for all of your skulls if you're making a blanket, a pillow, or anything like that. Okay, so we did single crochet, chain one, single crochet, and then in the same spot I'm going to put two more single crochets. Then I'm going to go to my next spot right here, chain space. I'm going to put two more single crochets. And then I'm going to work a single crochet all the way up to the top wherever I feel like I can put a single crochet. So I'm going to go into this next space and I'm going to put a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And 11 and 12. Okay. And don't you hate that? I've got one of those things in my yarn there, but I'm going to try to work around it. So basically what I know is from here on, I made 12 stitches, and that's just so that I can do it the same way on the other side. And now we're here on the very top where you can actually see the stitches, okay? So we're going to go across the top here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to be going down the side here. So remember, I'm going to try to get 12, and I'm going to be working what I can in. I forgot to work that other one in, but I can at least work this one in. Okay, so I'm going to do 12 going down. So I'm going to go into my next available stitch, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so now I'm back to this piece right here where I did the other side, and so I'm going to put 2 single crochets in this spot right here, and just like I did on the other side, I'm going to put 2 single crochets in this spot, and then I'm going to do my little corner. So I'm going to single crochet again, chain 1, and single crochet. And then across the bottom here, I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each spot, 1 and 2. And then I'm going to put a single crochet right here on the top of that double crochet. And then in the next spot, I'm going to put 2 single crochets, and then a single crochet on the top of that last, or the double crochet. And just keep doing that all the way down. And if you need to, you can write what you did with this one down so that you won't forget if you're going to be making something larger. Okay, so they can all be the same, if that matters to you. If not, just go through it. And then we're going to put 2 here at the very end, and then right into that first single crochet that we did, we're going to put a slip stitch. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to cut off, leaving enough room to work in. And then ta-da, we are done with our skull applique. And now we're going to start on our granny square here in just a minute. But first I'm going to work in all my ends. And in case you're new to crochet, I did want to show you how to do that. So what I like to do is turn over my skull. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, how can you tell the front from the back? Well, first of all, if you look at the front of this around here looks flat around the eye. If you turn it over, you can see that it's a little bit more bulgy. Also, you can see that this is where our pieces are coming out on the other side, okay? So what I'm gonna do is just show you how to work this in real quick. If you know how to do this, you can fast forward if you wish. But I'm going to put all these pieces that I have left onto a darning needle, and we're gonna work them in because we don't want them to ever come undone. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm on my back of my skull, and I'm going to start working this in, and I'm going to do it 3 times. So I'm gonna go in once, go back the other way, twice, and then I might go up this way for 3 times, and then you got it all worked in. It's not going to come undone. You might want to do it again if you want. That's totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going to work these other pieces in off camera, and I'll be right back so we can start on our granny square. Okay, so we're going to start our granny square now, and this is when it comes into play that I'm going to use these stick pins. And like I said, you can use pieces of yarn if you'd like, or you can use stitch markers or nothing at all. But basically, I'm just going to show you where we're going to start putting our stitches for our granny square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one in between, or I'm going to put one right here at the edge of the eye. So right over at the edge of the eye, I'm going to put one right there, okay? And then I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I'm going to put one right here. And then I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I'm going to put one right there, okay? And then I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that's right on the edge of our eye. So I'm going to put one right here. And then I'm going to count down, and I'm going to put one right at the edge of our mouth here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put one right here. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. And I'm going to put one right here in the corner, right there. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the end here. And I'm going to put one right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put one right here. Okay, so we put one right here, 7 over, and now we're going to count 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and right here in the corner, we're going to put our other stitch marker. And then we're going to count up, and we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're going to put one right here, right across where we did the other one. I'm just going to kind of use my thing there. And so now we have placed everywhere that we're going to put come in with our yarn for our half double crochets to go around, okay? Like I said, this isn't totally necessary. Your count's probably not going to be the exact same as mine, but it shouldn't be too far off, but this at least lets you know where to start, okay? So now we're going to bring in, I'm going to bring in this pink yarn. Of course, you can use any color yarn that you want. And I'm going to start right here where I've got this first stitch marker here, and I'm going to bring in this pink yarn, okay? And then I'm going to do a chain. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out, put it back in my pin cushion, and then I'm going to chain 2. That chain of 2 counts as your first half double crochet. Then you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So technically you have 8 here, okay? Then you're going to work over to where this next stitch marker is, and you're going to put a half double crochet. Then you can pull that out, and then you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to go over here where your other stitch marker is, and you're going to put a half double crochet. Then I'm going to pull out that stitch marker, and I'm going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I'm going to go where my next stitch marker is, and I'm going to put a half double crochet. Okay, and I can pull that out. Chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to go to my next one, stitch marker, and put a half double crochet. Then I can pull that out. And then I'm going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then right where my stitch marker is, I'm going to put a half double crochet. Take my stitch marker out. Chain 6 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Put a half double crochet right here where this stitch marker is. Pull that out, and again chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Put a half double crochet right here where this stitch marker is, right there in the corner. And then I'm going to chain 6 again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Put a half double crochet right here. Pull out that stitch marker, and then chain 6 one final time, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the second chain up, okay? So remember, we pulled in our yarn here, so we're going to go up 2, 1 and 2, and into the second one, because remember that chain of 2 counted as our half double crochet, you're going to put a slip stitch. Okay, and now you're all done, and it's going to look a little wonky. It may be coming up on the sides like this where it's curling a little bit. That's okay. It's all going to work out. Okay, so now we're not going to cut off or anything. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And in this first place right here, we're going to do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in this half double crochet right here, right up here, we're going to do 3 double crochets right into the top of this half double crochet. So you're working not in the chain space now, into this top of this actual double crochet, and you're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to chain 3, 2, and 3, and in that same spot you're going to put 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And that is our first corner. So your corners are actually going to be worked into the top of these half double crochets, not into the chain 6 spaces. So now going into this chain 6 space, you're going to do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you're over here to this other half double crochet, and in the top of that, you're going to do another corner. So right into there, you're going to put 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 3 and put 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And now you're over here to a chain space again. So you're going to put 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to jump over into this next space and you're going to put 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to jump over into your next space and put 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now, working in the top of this half double crochet right here, you're going to put another corner. So working right on the top of there, you're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3 and do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to go into your next space and you're going to work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the next one, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the next half double crochet on the very top of it, you're going to do another corner. And this will be your last corner. So do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to chain 3 and do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then you're going to work 4 double crochets in your next spot. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to work 4 double crochets in your next one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're right back over here and you're just simply going to put a slip stitch into the 3rd chain up of your first chain of 3. Okay? Now it still looks a little bit wonky when you look at it, but once you do your next row, it's going to even up quite a bit, okay? So we're going to do our next row and that'll even it up, all right? And the same way that you do any kind of granny square is the same way you're going to do this, but we're going to do it together. So I'm going to chain 3 and I'm going to start working. This counts as our first double crochet over this stitch, and then I'm just going to start working in every available stitch up to my corner doing a double crochet. So I'm doing double crochets all the way up in every stitch. And then when you get to the corner, you're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 more double crochets. Okay, just like that. And you know, one of the reasons why I made up this pattern is because a lot of the patterns or the couple of videos that I did see for this, they just looked, and they looked wonderful and they would turn out great, but they just looked a little bit wonky to me. So I wanted to find something that really truly looked as square as it possibly could, considering that you're working with an applique like this, okay? So again, we did our corner, and then don't forget this double crochet right here. A lot of people forget that when they're doing any granny square, but don't forget that space, and keep working double crochets all the way across. And we'll do one more corner together, and then I'm going to let you go and we'll finish it up off camera. So keep doing double crochets all the way across. And as you can see, this is already straightening this up quite a bit, okay? So just doing my double crochets. Then when I get to my corner, I'm going to do 3 double crochets, 3, and then chain 3, and 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then don't forget to get this stitch right here by moving this over. And then just start double crocheting all the way down the side in every available stitch until you get to your next corner, okay? And so that's what it looks like so far. So you just keep working yourself all the way around, and then when we get back over here, I'm going to show you how to finish this up. See you in just a minute. Okay, so I just worked my last double crochet in my last available stitch, and now I'm going to slip stitch into my 3rd chain up of my first chain of 3 for this round, okay? Just like that. And then I'm going to cut off, leaving enough room to work in my yarn. And voila, we have a skull granny square. So cool. It's actually more of a rectangle, and that's what I was telling you about the tops being shorter and the sides being longer. And that's just, like I said, because of the way the applique is, okay? But it's still really square. You could keep going as well. Like, you will see a little tiny bit of a ridge, like right here there's a little bit of a tiny ridge, but it's not really bad. But the more you went out, the less any kind of ridging there would be, if that bothers you at all. Totally up to you, whatever that you want to do. As you can see, this is a little bit bigger than the one you see in the video. And this just goes to show you what yarn can do, okay? This is a 4-weight and this is a 3-weight yarn. So this is a little bit smaller, as you can see, than this one. And that's just because this is a thicker yarn, okay? So yeah, that's how much they can make a difference. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps. If you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask. You can find me in the description box below. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Is there anything else? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Gmail. And then of course you can comment below on YouTube. So yeah, if you need any help at all, just let me know, and I will see you again soon for another video. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.